Well, what is going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It's very nice to have you here today. I've got something new, at least to me, on the table. I picked this up at a gun show over the weekend. A friend of mine had it, and they were moving it along. This is the Bad Habits Manufacturing Mofo, which is just a silly name for what is an excellent pocket knife. The previous owner put a really fancy pocket clip on there, as you can see. It's lovely. There's a standard clip in the box. This thing is just surprisingly comfortable, very nice in hand, and exceptionally well made, so I thought we'd take a look at it, see what you think. So the Mofo is, well, I mean, look at that. It's straightforward, it's not too complicated, but it is exceptionally comfortable in hand. Now, it is an S30V blade. It is running on bearings. Full titanium build. Of course, as I mentioned, the Damascus clip here, which is really fancy. I think I'll probably put the gray back on there. It is that neutral handle shape that I just love, and it is very comfortable. And this Tanto, it's just got this fantastic swedge across the top, right? Drops down. It's got a compound grind, so it's got a slightly wider grind here on the very tip than it does down along the cutting edge, and it's very sharp. It's got their little logo right there. I had never even heard of this until I saw it on the table and said, well, that's kind of cool, let me take a look. And then I flipped it a few times and, oh yeah, it had to come home. It's very nice. I can hear you already out there saying, but S30V is old steel. S30V has served a million knife companies in a million different ways for years without fail. I don't mind S30V. Now, they are $285 when you can get one. They are currently sold out. This company has made other knives, and I will put a link to their website in the description. You can go check it out if you want. But I collect knives because they interest me. I couldn't figure out exactly what it was about this that I was so enamored with when I first picked it up, and then I realized it reminds me a lot, in hand and in feel, of the Ultramar 229 here. Different shapes. I've had the Tanto version of the 229 here. I've had this knife for almost 5 years now. It has never failed me. It is really good at what it does. And this feels very much like this. And they're both about the same price. So this, of course, is that this is Riot made and M390. Turns out I don't care. Every once in a while a knife comes along that just feels so good in hand that I'm like, yep, that's got to come home. And the Mofo here is one of those. That is just a stupid name. But anyway, the titanium here on the scales, that's interesting. I thought I had a little flashlight. Let's see if we can get it so you can see. You can barely see it in there. It's fairly well milled. It's relatively light. It's got some milling on both sides for texture. The blade really is the centerpiece here, though. It is a nice thick slice of S30V. It is crowned in such a way that it just looks gorgeous. This has been through, I don't know, probably 2 owners before me. It's clearly the factory edge, and it is still in excellent shape. It's got a titanium backspacer with just a little end back here, a little milling on it, which is nice. Let's do some size comparisons, shall we? Well, I mean, we have this out, so let's do that. Here it is against the Chavez, the Ultramar 229. As you can see, the Mofo is considerably shorter, but not really. If we line them up, you are getting just about the same amount of cutting with just a lot less bulky handle at the back, which is super nice. Here's some knives that you may be a little more familiar with. Here it is against the PM2. And as you can see, it's smaller than the PM2. However, it is bigger than the Para 3, right? So it's right in the middle. It is a really nice size. Now, you guys know I generally like big, beefy knives, but something about this just works for me. Let's get the actual specs out of the way, shall we? Tip to tail, you're looking at just a hair under 8 inches. I know how it looks in the picture, but on the mat over here, it's just a little bit under 8 inches. You get probably 3 1/8 of cutting on 3.5, 3 1/8 of cutting on 3.5 inches of that S30V. This is a sharpening choil, not to be confused with a forward choil, although the way it is shaped, if you really needed to come forward, you could, but you're right up on that edge, so you're going to want to be careful. Other than the logo, the Bad Habit Manufacturing logo, the blade is clean. I really like that. Check out these Thumbstuds. Beautifully done. Action is fantastic, very snappy. Closed length on the Mofo here. You're coming in at 4.5 inches, a little over. It doesn't eat up a lot of pocket, which is really nice. If we line it up right on that line there, you're looking at 1.25 inches with no flipper, of course, so it's not going to dig into stuff. I'm not 100% in love with the pocket clip. What is that? Oh, well, that'll work for this. As you can see, there's a fair amount of knife sticking out the back. That's okay. The clip itself is milled titanium, well, in this case, Damascus. It's got plenty of room underneath it. It's got a nice ramp. It's very well done. It's got matching gray pivot collars, which I think are very cool. This is just a very, very nice knife. And I'm really glad that I added it to the collection today. One of the things about being a reviewer is you end up sort of chasing the newest, bestest, brightest, shiniest. I don't want to do that anymore. So I tend to get stuff that's for me, and this is absolutely for me. Let's get some other specs out of the way, shall we? All right. You end up with, way back here at the thickest point, almost 4 millimeters of S30V, which is really nice. Through the handle is only 13 millimeters, which is a little over 1/2 inch. Let's weigh it out, see where we land. It's got heft to it without feeling bulky. I don't know, we'll see. Okay. 4.4 ounces. Well, I mean, what can we compare it against? Well, I mean, the Chavez. Yeah, so it's considerably lighter than the Chavez, which, with almost as much cutting, if they had made this in the same blade steel, these things would have been a true super knife. But as it is, you know, $285 is a lot, particularly for S30V. But I got to tell you, there is enough design and function in this that I am totally okay with it. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy a look. I know I am going to enjoy owning this. Everything is T8s, by the way, which is really nice. It does have a steel lock bar insert. It's just a well-made knife. So if you find yourself looking for something a little different, sorry about the table shake there, a little more interesting, feel free to check out Bad Habit Manufacturing. Like I said, I'll put a description in the link, I'll put a description in the link. I know what I'm doing. I'll put a link in the description. I'm a professional. Watch me go. I'll also put a link to the Instagram profile for the person I got it from. Thank you very much. Izzy, I really appreciate you. And then that's where we're going to wrap it up. This is a cool knife. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.